Hey, legendary listeners. Welcome to the, I think, second or third of our Legends of Tomorrow podcast hiatus episodes. We are live, which is really cool. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on our StreamYard. For those of you who are actually turning in, we're also live on our webcams, which was a decision we made a few minutes ago.
Very last minute.
Yeah, I didn't plan on that.
Except Morgan, she planned on it.
I had heard that this is something we were thinking about, so I put on makeup. So sue me.
I didn't. Yeah, I just got home from work maybe half an hour ago. Noticed the
I took a nap. So
how was the nap?
It wasn't great. It was like a 10-minute nap. It was like, this is not working out.
Those are the worst kind because you don't really get any like real sleep from it.
No, it just like this was the worst. And I was like, we're going to do the podcast soon. I look great. And now we're here.
And now we're here. All right. Well, so this episode is something we've done every hiatus. It's a lot of fun for us. We get a lot of feedback at the end of the season. People who have season finale feedback, who have full season feedback. And if you have listened to our podcast last week, we gave our ratings for the season. It was part of the charity event, which we shockingly managed to get through the entire
Only
season.
For you, Amy. Like, we wouldn't have done that if you weren't there.
In 50 minutes. I'm still blown away that happened. So this week is all about the fans. This week is about us reading emails you've sent us, tweets you've sent us, thoughts that you have for us. Those of you who are live, you get to participate. We're going to be doing some of the question corners we have and encourage all of you to answer the question corners as well. So we're going to dive in because we have a lot of stuff to read. And there's a couple emails. One I'm really excited about reading because it comes from my old band director, and I love it. And a lot of emails who brought up some really cool points, and I'm really excited to read them and discuss them. However, we're going to dive into some news. There are two things, and the first I'm going to let Kat talk about. So Batwoman has cast its new lead. It's Yavika Leslie, who I really hope I pronounced her name correct. She is going to, quote, portray Ryan Wilder, described as a likable, messy, a little goofy, and untamed, who in season 2 of the superhero show will take over the Bat mantle from Kate Kane. The character is described as out as a lesbian, but that's where her similarities with Kate appear to end. According to her official character description, Ryan has spent years as a drug runner, dodging the Gotham police and masking her pain with bad habits. A highly skilled but undisciplined fighter, she now lives in a van with a plant. So with the exception of the with a plant part, it's like they took every superhero scripter like out of a hat and were like, this one will work.
Hey, she's Poison Ivy. She has a plant, like a real plant.
What if that's the reveal at the end of the season?
What if it's Felicity's fern from like season 2 of Arrow?
I hope so.
Wouldn't it be great if that
show is her talking to that plant?
What if that fern just shows up in every show, like just in the background?
I love it. So
I want it to happen.
Kat,
yeah, I love the name Ryan Wilder. They're like she's like Kate Kane, but Wilder.
And her name's Ryan.
Kat, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I had first thought you were going to talk about Constantine and say, Kat, you got to be the first person to talk about
this. That's what I thought too, and I was like, why Kat?
I was like, yeah, I'm excited. No, Batwoman, I definitely am excited about the casting news. I think it's great that we have a Black lead and someone who's queer. The actress is bisexual, so I think that's great. I've never seen God Friend in Me, but I've heard good stuff, and she played a queer character in that show, so I'm guessing it's good. I've heard good stuff. My parents watched it; they loved it, and we're very disappointed it got canceled. And then I told my mom she's going to be Batwoman. She said, "Who?" I said, someone from God Friend in Me. I was like, oh. But yeah, I didn't love Batwoman, and I liked the character a lot. Like, I liked the comic character. I didn't love the show. I think Morgan actually liked it more than I did. I got up to the half of the crisis. So I think it can't go down from here. So I think it could only go up in my expectations. So I really hope it's a good show and not just replacing the actress, but just like kind of doing something different with that story as well.
I've seen a lot of feedback that the initial reaction is excellent. We have an African-American actress playing a title character. That's fantastic. Why does she have to have a drug running past? Why does she have to have this complicated history? They're like, can't she just be excited about being a superhero? Like,
yeah, when I saw the drug running past, I was like, oh, she looks awesome. I'm sorry, what does it say?
Yeah.
There's also a plant in the car, so we got to know about
Don't
that.
forget that plant. That's the most important part. I want her to put the plant. What if she puts the plant in like a little Robin outfit and then she just takes it along with her?
You know what? The show will be 100 times better if that's the truth. Like, I can't wait.
Honestly, I'm the kind of person that if I lived in my car, I would have a plant that I talked to on a regular basis. It would be named Alfred, and I would frequently talk to Alfred, and he would talk back to me in a very sophisticated British accent. So, I mean, we are of the same mold here.
Which is only your British accent for the plant. So you pretend to be the plant.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It would
like,
talk
Alfred, pip pip cheerio.
Oh, my Alexa just popped up. I heard you say Alfred, and she's like, I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
That's the best.
Okay.
There is a TV show called Pennyworth, I think, still on air.
But is he a plant? That's what I'm asking. I'm asking the hard question.
That's why I haven't seen it. There's no plants involved. That's why I keep recommending Harley Quinn, the TV show, because there's so many plants. And there's a character who is a plant. So
I love it. Well, I'm on board already.
Crossover. Yeah, I need to watch the
crossover appeal with Batwoman.
For sure.
All right. Second bit of news is something which you guys threw in here exclusively for me, and I opened it expecting to see one picture, and I saw another. So this is the title of the article is "Rumor Suggests J.J. Abrams is developing a new Constantine film for Warner Brothers," and I got so excited. I clicked the link. And there's Keanu Reeves. I
thought you got rickrolled, and that's what happened.
World who was disappointed by a photo of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's almost not possible. So,
so this is a rumor. This is like literally the rumorist mill of the rumor mills.
There's as far as I can tell, it's not like. There's nothing been announced.
Morgan's just having fun with it. She created the doc this week.
To be fair, somebody sent this in like for us specifically. I say for us, but we all know it's for Amy.
Oh, it's for Amy. It's not for me and Morgan. We haven't seen the Constantine TV show. I have not seen the movie. I will say also, Morgan, I have a feeling you squeezed in that Batwoman news because we are the Batwoman podcast, if you didn't know.
That's true. I actually didn't put the Batwoman news in there. I forgot what our title was.
I threw that in.
So Amy threw it in because our running joke is that for some reason everyone's always asking those questions about Batwoman.
Their opinions on Batwoman. We're like, I mean, we'll tell you, but why?
There is a Batwoman podcast. You guys should go check it out. We have it on.
They also have opinions about Batwoman.
They do, and maybe Legends as well.
So the rumors of the rumors of Constantine is literally an entertainment reporter named Brian Katz, who I think I follow on Twitter, said he heard some whispers about the fact that J.J. Abrams may be developing a Justice League Dark series for HBO Max. He is developing a Justice League Dark series for HBO Max, which I'm stoked about. They're reporting that they heard a live-action Constantine movie is in development at Warner Brothers with Bad Robot, which is Abrams' company, serving as the production company and Abrams as the producer.
Sounds like a bad game of telephone. I don't know. Yeah, I think the information was passed along and something got jumbled.
I know they don't like to mix their universes, but since Matt Ryan has been Constantine in like every different incarnation, why not just have him be the movie Constantine too? Just keep rolling with it.
Right?
Why not?
There's a distressing lack of Matt Ryan photos on this website page. And
I thought you were going to be like in general.
I mean,
in life, I would say there's not enough.
Yeah. So I'm scrolling through the comments from people who are listening live on YouTube and live on Facebook, and most of them are everybody saying hello. So hello back. Let's see. Kenny said there's a theory that Ryan Wilder will be Luke Fox's long-lost half-sister or something like that. Who is Luke Fox.
So he's a character on Batwoman.
He is a character on Batwoman. He is like he is Kate Kane's like best bro. And he does like basically like the tech stuff, like, oh hey, you should go here, and like making sure the suit works correctly.
He's like the Felicity of Batwoman.
Yeah.
But also like is a comic character. I like him a bit more in the comics. He you know Lucius Fox from like the yeah, so that's his son.
Oh, there's some potential there. Oh, I love that. Okay. And then there's just a lot of comments about plants.
Oh, I mean, of course. Why not?
So, I say we jump into, so we've got a lot of question corners. So we thought we'd have some fun and kind of intersperse the question corners. So I say let's do 2. And then if you guys are listening live, feel free to answer if it is a question that is.
And if you guys have one too, like if you guys are watching live and you have more, we'd love to have more Q&As.
Just throw them in there. Throw them in the chat.
Yeah.
The first one, I should probably clarify. The first one is from Sarah.
Oh.
And she said that at Fully Mad Sarah, this is our friend
Drunk
who
Sarah.
Drunk Sarah. She said, my burning question is, what actually happens in the rest of the show?
Oh, we can't answer that question.
We don't want to
for
give
Sarah.
that away.
No. We did promise Sarah. Well, I don't want to plug Morgan's own podcast, but there's another podcast on this network where there's an episode that's gonna be out where we promise Sarah maybe we'll give her 1 or 2 more episodes. That way she can actually watch the whole entire show.
She's like, I kind of really want to watch Legends, but I'm keeping myself from watching it for the drunk episode. So she's really made a sacrifice in not watching Legends so far.
I just really want to see what she thinks of. Like, I really, really want to introduce her to, I don't know, maybe. There was that one episode in season 1 where it was really Egypt heavy. Do you guys remember that? Where it had the whole backstory and it was.
You want to give her that?
Why?
Because I just want to confuse her like so bad. I just want her to be so utterly confused. You know, it'd be really funny is if we don't tell her somehow it's season 1. We just say that this is
I think she'll get it. She'll be like, this is not good. And I think that'd give her more reason not to binge it. She's like, yeah, I wanted to watch this show, but after this, I think I'm done.
I thought I wanted to watch this show.
Yeah, no more.
I think drunk watching is the only way to really do season 1, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
We'd be doing her a favor, getting her drunk and getting her through one of those episodes.
I will say we've gotten this question before, Kenny, but which DC hero that we haven't seen in Arrowverse would we like to see?
And Kenny says he wants Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
I've never been big fans of Booster Gold or Blue Beetle, but I can
really
definitely see it with the time travel aspect.
I don't really know much about them at all. So.
Booster Gold's just like this, not pompous. He's like a kind of cool, pompous guy from the future who loves fame. And Blue Beetle, depending on which one you're talking about, he's a smart guy who has gadgets.
I like the Blue Beetle in the recent animated film.
Jaime, that's Jaime.
Is that the
he's
same
just different. So Blue Beetle, the Booster Gold Blue Beetle, that's Ted Cord. The Blue Beetle from everything else, like the newer stuff, is Jaime, and it's like all about aliens, which could be cool. So there's a scarab which is called the scarab that like kind of implants on him and he becomes Blue Beetle. So it's like, it's kind of like Venom, but for DC. And it doesn't like intensify your emotions at all. It's just like a second person on you. So it's like a parasite. That'd be cool. Yeah, there's a lot there, but that'd be an interesting Blue Beetle to have.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. We have one from at Avalance_a lot that says, I live in Scotland. I will be sleeping at the time of morning for me. So I'll ask my questions here. 1, what is everyone's most memorable / favorite scene this season?
I think anything from the documentary stuff was really memorable for me.
I feel like anything from the like multiple TV hopping episode.
That too.
My favorite first scene that comes to mind is Romeo and Juliet on the balcony getting closer. And that's when I was like, oh, I ship it.
Anything with Constantine.
Yup.
That was a moment Amy was like,
No, it's the first thing that pops to mind. She asked the most memorable. And that was certainly memorable. Favorite scene?
That's still your favorite scene, I'm sure.
No, I really loved the wedding. I thought that despite the fact that Nora and Ray leaving was utterly heartbreaking for literally all of us, I thought that the actual wedding scene was really well done. It was beautiful, and I totes cried. So,
that wedding scene was really good.
It was beautiful.
What was the best moment? Huh. A thong song action sequence.
I think I really liked when they were stuck in the Parker's cul-de-sac the first time, and it was like Nora and Ray and Damien Dark, and they were like having this argument, and Mr. Parker was like, "Have the feeling stick," like that. I think that's when I think back on that episode, that's like the scene that I remember, or like some of the season. I think of that scene a lot.
We have another question from Miriam. You've got a walk-on role for an episode. What time period or location would you want to be set in?
Amy, I think you got to go first on that.
That's your question.
Since you're the actress here.
You know what? I have always like legit wanted to be a queen. So I would love to like full Tudor garb.
Yes.
I would love to walk on as Elizabeth. Like Queen Elizabeth I or Anne Boleyn pre-beheading.
Always an important one.
I'd like to be the headless Boleyn girl. Ooh. Now that's a cool, interesting plot. You know the idea of the headless horseman? It's actually Boleyn.
Oh man, I like it. That's definitely a Legends plot.
No,
I want her back.
Full corset, crazy hair, crazy stuff, like on the prow of a ship, probably with a horse. So I mean, let's get real dramatic. Anyway, Morgan, what would yours be? Because I just
I think I'm gonna steal like the same thing though. I think I would go back to the Tudor times. We've been pitching, Amy and I, the whole time the show has been on, and I'm reading like this like 900 page like Tudor book right now. So The Mirror and the Light, it's like the third Hilary Mantel book about Cromwell.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
It's the Wolf Hall series?
Yeah, the Wolf. It's the third Wolf Hall book. Yeah, it's I'm still going through it. It's not as enjoyable as the first two, honestly.
May I recommend The Diary of Anne Boleyn?
Ooh, you may.
It's not 100% historically accurate, as you know, they all definitely are. Yeah, no big deal. It's before she comes back to England, so it's when she's sent to France to impress or to learn like how French courtiers work, which is, by the way, very different than English. And then it's like her whole time there, and it's like juvenile Anne, and it's really you feel for this girl, and you also get to see her relationship with Mary Tudor, which is also really special and a lot of fun for us super nerds.
Oh, that's exciting! I literally just jotted it down in my phone. I was like, I'm gonna read that later. But yeah, I would go back to Tudor times, definitely.
Yes.
When you mentioned that book, I thought Amy was gonna pull it out and be like, "I'm also reading that book."
So all my books are the only historical fiction book I have right next to me is The White Queen, because I read from it for audiobook samples.
Oh, nice.
There's some really good.
I haven't read that.
I'm actually reading something for a script, but I don't want to go back to this time. I'm reading Eleanor and Hick, so it's Eleanor Roosevelt and like her lover, which was the first female to have a byline on the front page of the New York Times. So it's like their whole entire story. I learned about it a while ago, and then I watched Hamilton. I'm like, oh yeah, Eleanor Roosevelt had a lover, and some people think she was in a lesbian relationship. It's not like confirmed. So I'm like, that'd be kind of a cool story to write about. So I'm reading that now, but I wouldn't want to go back there. But that's like what's in the mind right now is like the 1930s. So maybe I would say the time I do not want to go back to is the 1930s.
Let me guess. Your walk-on role would be some MC introducing the Beatles.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I honestly like the Ed Sullivan Show would be really cool, or like to be in Shea Stadium
That's
for.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just didn't want to keep picking the Beatles, you know? I love my Beatles. And yes, the answer will always be the Beatles, but
I feel like we're all so typical at this point. Like they could just pick the answers for us.
yeah, they don't even need to ask anymore. It's just like, which Beatle do you want to be is the better question.
How
Not
many
Ringo.
bracelets do you want to wear?
Exactly.
When are
Apparently,
you-
infinity is the answer.
Yes. Yeah, where is the Constancy wedding?
Where-
are you
yeah.
going?
I saw Rebecca from Supergirl Radio said she would do the 1940s because
That's
it's
cool.
that's a cool era in film and history, and everyone wore great hats.
True.
I'm not a hat gal, so.
Yeah,
You
so
guys
it looks like. Oh, sorry. I was going to say at Ava Lance _a lot had one more question, which was, how do you think Ava, Sarah, and the team are going to deal with Sarah being abducted by aliens, as Sarah is everyone's rock and captain?
We hear not well, so that's what we're hearing from a
I feel
recent
like Ava's
interview.
going to be eating like a lot of ice cream and listening to a lot of true crime podcasts.
Yeah, and
Feel like
also
how I live
creating
my
a
life.
lot. You know, I feel like we're living in our quarantine. She's living in her own without Sarah, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna create, and she's just gonna create a lot of those true crime podcasts.
You
And
know,
get none of it done though. She's gonna think about it.
Her podcast is going to go through a real renaissance period.
she's gonna need a second, because if you think about it, like if you had the captain and the commander,
I
Sarah's
thought you were gonna
always
say
the
a second
captain.
podcast. What would it be about?
Lost Without You, the IKEA shopping list
Yes.
by co-captain.
No one listens to it at all.
I think like Sarah and Ava have been so constantly co-pilots that the two of them have relied on each other. One's unavailable, the other one takes over. But who is Ava going to be able to rely on when Sarah's not there?
I feel
And
like
I'm
Nate-
thinking like Nate. That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping that
Yeah.
maybe Nate kind of rises.
Zari?
And they give him more to do. Yeah, but Zari and Bayrod are so connected. Like they have their stuff.
But they had that one-on-one last season, whatever it is. Remember that they were like connecting. I feel
What
like
if she
everyone's
starts
gonna be her
relying
rock.
on Nick? What if Nick
That,
is her rock?
honestly, I could see that too because they all had these connections last season. So
Yeah,
I see it all.
I don't know if Zari 2.0 is 100% reliable.
No, she's not, but she tries. She has a heart of gold. And you know what? She's gonna get Ava hella famous for sure.
Rachel
Oh my
points
gosh,
out that,
Rach-
that Nate did work with Ava at the Time Bureau, which I had kind of forgotten.
that's
I
very
forgot
true.
about that. They all work together.
Let's go
That's
for
true.
that. He was really good at that point. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. He had a story then.
Remember that?
Do you guys want to read some tweets?
Yes. All right. So I think I'm doing the tweets. And this counts as one email for me. So Jason, have you seen I guess this is also a question. Have you seen Home Movies Princess Bride on Quibi service?
You know what this is?
I know what Princess Bride is, and I've heard about this, which is like, isn't it Joe Jonas doing some Princess Bride thing with his wife?
So it's like it's a whole bunch of they sent scenes to different actors in pairs and had them act out the scenes in any way they wanted to. And
Joe
they smashed them
Jonas,
together.
an actor.
Imagine.
Sansa Stark. So he's got options, but they sent one to Courtney and Brandon, and the two of them
Oh,
did a
cool.
scene together. And I don't remember what scene it was, but I started watching it on Instagram, and it was hella cute.
I was gonna say, do you have this Quibi? Because I don't. I'm not paying for any more services.
I accidentally signed up for it
By accident.
because when they first rolled it out, they were so desperate to get anybody to watch it that they were like, "You get 3 months free." And guess who forgot that 3 months are up? So
Oh.
I just wanted to watch Murder House Flip, a real
Of
show, by
course.
the way, on Quibi. And what happened was I forgot to close it out. So they got those $5 from me, I guess. So
But
now
you
I'm gonna watch
watched more
this.
Murder House, so that's good.
I did get to see them flip those murder houses real good. So
Honestly, that's kind of an interesting show. But I will say, I've never liked The Princess Bride. Sorry, not sorry.
wait, what? Cat?
Yeah, I just don't like those movies. I just anything that's not in our time period. I start losing my mind a little.
Oh,
I
like
know.
our time period, not like your age group.
That's what I thought
No,
too.
no,
Morgan and
time
I.
period, as in like, you know,
I was
2020.
like, that was an arrow right into my heart.
I know. I was
No,
like,
no.
I'm so old. I think
No. I guess it was kind of in my era of growing up, but I just never watched it, and I just never had
Princess
the
Bride
inkling to.
It's like it's a movie experience. Like for me, it is the same movie that you watched. We watched it every single bus ride up to our annual choir retreat every year. And by the time
You watched it on the bus?
like on the bus up, like charter buses, you know how they have the thing.
Oh, right, they
When
do
you
have
start the
TVs. I'm like,
choir,
how did that happen?
so long ago, before smartphones. So like when you start the choir, you didn't know the movie. By the time you graduate, you could quote the whole thing, and you were the people in the back of the bus making the jokes the whole time. Like it was an experience that you learned as you got older. And so for me, it's like the memory of the people who you watched
I
it
feel
with.
like, Kat, you might be the only person I've ever met thus far who doesn't really like that movie. I
Yeah,
feel like it's
I
one of those
know.
movies that's almost universal.
Almost.
I say almost
man.
because I just learned.
Not my thing. Again, when it comes to, because like, when's the time period exist for it? Like, what are they trying to do? Like,
Way
what's their
back.
way back when, right?
It's pretend. There are
a
rodents of
long
unusual
time,
size.
a long time ago.
I don't think I can deal
Literally
with that.
far away.
I just, there's a time period where I just stop, like I think like 50s and on, like when the TV was created and on, I'm interested, I'm good.
Kat's like anything
Before
before
that-
indoor plumbing, and I'm just out.
No, honestly, let's maybe go with 20s and on, because like I'm reading this book that's the 30s, and I'm like somewhat interested. It's very interesting.
You're like only half interested.
It sounds like the political survey I just got on my phone, which, by the way, I'd like to appreciate the West Wing for making me now answer every political survey that I get on my phone. But they read you a statement. They're like, now, do you agree, somewhat disagree, somewhat agree with this response? And so it sounds like you're like, I somewhat agree that
Yeah,
and I completely disagree with stuff before the 1900s.
exactly. I just like it. It's just not my thing. But yeah, no, I am liking the book I'm reading. It's great, but it's more about the people, not the time period.
I would
Michael-
like to point out
Michael Lynn has a good
Okay.
Go ahead,
Let's
Amy.
hear it.
same time, Michael Lynn in the chat on Facebook
Okay.
said, loophole, Princess Bride frame story is contemporary. Boom.
That's true.
You know what? I tried. Okay, Dickinson,
Nope.
right?
You're out.
What?
Dickinson. No, the show that's contemporary.
Oh, I thought you thought the Princess Bride was like Charles Dickens. And I was
No,
like,
no.
no.
There's a show called Dickinson, and that's contemporary, but I haven't watched
Emily
it.
Dickinson. Yeah.
Yeah, Emily Dickinson, and they're all about like making it for the youth. And you know what? I haven't watched it. You know why? Because it's before 1920. So I'm just like, I just
Princess
don't think I could
Bride.
do this.
Princess Bride is for all youths and all believers of true love.
Yes.
I guess I'm not a believer. Only in Shrek. Only in Shrek am I a true believer of true love.
Amazing.
Did you never truly, did you never have an experience of watching this film together with a group of people who
No.
every time it happened would go, Mewed?
I
No,
always
wait.
got out of it. I always got out of it. Anytime someone wanted to watch this movie, I said I don't want to watch it. There were times where people mentioned it, and I'm like, nah, let's watch something else.
All right.
Amazing.
I'm going to get us back on track because otherwise.
This is on track. This is the feedback.
This
All right.
is not the Princess Broadcast.
No, but that was the first question, and that was the first tweet. But the continuous of Jason's tweet here. They have actors reenacting the movie from their own home, and they are splicing it together to make the movie in episode 6, I think. Okay, so we talked about that. Mark Bickford. I'm going to give my answer to one of your questions. What historical figure would you want to bring into our time? So we can't talk about that yet. I'll go with someone whose inventions are not only in use today, but who actually first called the electric storage device a battery, Benjamin Franklin. Do you think he would be a cool dude to hang out with?
I think
I feel
Benjamin
like-
Franklin would be a real chill hang. I think.
No,
so.
I think he'd be too intense. I think he'd go outside and he's like, I need to catch
I think
I have
Benjamin
a
Franklin
key.
would just
I
want to
have this
drink with
kite.
you.
Yes, that's exactly. I literally like he would go around. I feel like he would mesh with every single person and solve every single person's problems.
Also, you know what I would really want to do with Benjamin Franklin? I just realized is that I would want to introduce him to Gritty, the
I think that'd be good. Yeah,
the
mascot,
mascot
right?
from the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, Philly's his city, right? Of like, look at all the wonders of your city.
I think he'd be
Benjamin.
disappointed and time travel back to his time. I want
like never mind, and he leaves.
I want Benjamin Franklin to be a locksmith. You know, I think he loves his keys. Like, I think he's the You know what he loves? He loves home security. He is really enjoying these.
I want Kat to have her own history podcast.
Okay, but Benjamin Franklin is the definition of an
Loves
innovator.
keys.
He would love to be on a time travel ship. Like,
Nah, he's going back.
technology, like a little British lady in a box that tells you the directions. That is just.
See, I think he loves the Ring device, the one that because it's the one that you get the camera and you get on your phone.
The Ring device.
The Ring, like you never heard of it? The camera, and then you get an alert. Yeah. So I think he would love that because
He's a locksmith.
Yeah, he's a locksmith because he loves keys, and that's how he made the lightning rod.
Keys. He loves the lightning. The key was just an accessory.
You can't tell her, Kat, this. He loves keys now. This is historical fact. He loves keys. Bonnie just wanted to be famous.
Oh man. Okay.
We learned so much here.
He didn't love electricity. He didn't love thunder. He loved the keys that were connected to that device. He's like, I need to do something with this, and he did.
Benjamin Franklin loves keys, and the Princess Bride is bad. Rooted.
We learned a lot tonight. A lot of good facts.
Miriam has the tagline for your history podcast, Kat. It says, Kat's History Podcast, brought to you by History.com. Nothing pre-1930s, though.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right, moving on. Tweets. Continue.
Right. We're back. We're back. We're here. We're living. Trisha says, I read an article a few days ago where someone wondered if Booster Gold was involved with kidnapping Sarah. Can't remember who it was. Interesting and thought it would work. Hattie Mello. Yeah, Booster Gold. Telling you another controversial thing. Don't like him. Never cared for him. So don't want him on the show. Hattie Mello. To me, this season exceeds expectations. It was better than season 4, but not as good as season 3. MVP,
yes.
Ava. Yeah. She grew so much this season. Favorite new character, Lita. I agree. Yes. She's a great addition to the show. Jax is Nate. He had no plot of his own.
Yes.
Yeah, Nate had a rough season this season.
He did. Haley overall exceeds expectations. Extra credit cliffhanger. True. And actually having a cliffhanger because they finished their season. Going to miss Zari 1.0, but happy to keep Bayrod. Ava and Mick are my new fave. Bro TP.
Bro TP.
That's a new word.
You've never heard that before?
No.
I've seen that before, yeah. Bro
TP. I like it.
On the Twitters and stuff.
On the Twitters. Which also Benjamin Franklin would love. Sad to see Charlie.
Get his key in there and
100. He'd have a whole entire key Twitter account talking about different types of keys during the decades. Sad to see Charlie, Ray, Nora leave. They all deserve better stories. Ava was the MVP. Co-captains, Ava Lance. Jax of the season was Nate. Had a couple good moments / episodes, but overall slid between pining love interest and frat boy Nate, who just annoyed me. Constantine had a much better storyline. I'm interested to see what he does next. Can't wait for the next. Also, hashtag save She-Ra, I think.
I think that's
save Sarah. That makes more sense.
But also save She-Ra.
But also save She-Ra. You know, maybe in my head that's what I wanted so badly, and then that's how I read it.
Is She-Ra in trouble?
No, I think they just want a movie. I've been seeing a lot of save Harley Quinns.
Oh no.
Might be in trouble, but depending on the DC universe, but we'll see. It ended well.
Before I watch it.
It ends well either way. So even if you watch these first 2 seasons, it's a very content ending.
What's next?
Legendary Arrow 01. I thought season 5 was great. Getting dark, but keeping the humor was great. The development of Ava, Charlie, and Constantine was good, but the only thing I don't like was Ray and Nora leaving. They deserve better. But then the cliffhanger was nuts. 8.8 / out of 10 rating for me. This is the last tweet. Eat your veggies says, I haven't finished the season yet.
That's a really good Twitter handle.
I really like that Twitter account name. Oh my goodness.
I haven't finished the season yet, but the highlight for me so far is the whole Zari / Bayrod situation. As much as I love the old Zari, I gotta admit that I'm impressed by new Zari. And what's up with them with hinting at something between her and Constantine? Oh, are they not?
I don't know that they're just hinting.
No,
I don't
this is
know.
not done with the season yet. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Haven't finished the season. Okay. I obviously have such bad memory that just a sentence ago, I didn't remember they said that.
I didn't either.
Also, Mick seems to be fading out of the picture slowly. And we say that every season, though. We thought Mick was going to leave in season 2.
I think he actually had a better season this season than he has in a while.
Yeah.
I agree.
With
But
the
they also
Lita
haven't
stuff.
finished yet. So maybe Lita, I think, was
that's
towards
true.
the end.
That's
so-
true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
So we can put your fears at rest, Sir Veggies. Comma, eat your. Mick's story gets better. And why, yes, they are hinting at something between Constantine and Zari.
They are. I guess we'll get to some questions. And yeah, definitely ask some cues in the comments here. We got 2 I saw up above. Rachel says, how is Sarah going to deal with being abducted by aliens? I think we talked about this and said either she's going to be like really chill and not want to come back to the Wave Rider, she's made some alien friends, or it's not going to be good for her. I mean, either way, I hope we get to see her. I hope it's not something that's off screen.
Oh, yeah, that would be the worst, I think.
I would like to see her because she's dealt with aliens before. It's kind of cliche, but I'd like to see her team up with like a Dominator. Like the only way she can get out of the bad situation is to team up with a Dominator who historically has been an enemy. And what would be great is if it was the same baby Dominator from the ET episode that's all grown up now.
Aww.
I remember you in their weird Dominator googie gog speech, however they talk. And Sarah's like, I remember you too, Obvi. And the two of them escaped together. Like, I would like something like that.
Let's get into the next question. I think this was from me in particular, and I lost it. Michael Lynn says, wait, does Kat have a second favorite band? Yeah, no, Beatles is the number one. My second favorite. It's so hard because I listen to definitely a vast variety of music. But I would say the Foo Fighters actually is my second favorite. I love the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
Yeah, got Nirvana also I really enjoy. Would Fleetwood Mac be included as a band? I think so.
Yeah, they're
They rock.
definitely a band. The thing I like best about them is all their behind the scenes drama.
Oh yeah, their whole album Rumors is about all the rumors about their band.
I know, it's amazing.
That's
Fleetwood Mac is amazing for the drama.
I love their drama. Stevie Nicks, man, she's got some great songs. See, if we had more about pop culture history, I'd have a lot more information for you guys.
I actually got to
honestly
see
am very
Fleetwood Mac,
impressed.
and like the whole band was there. Like even all the people who hate each other. It was amazing.
What did you do?
I saw Fleetwood Mac in concert once, and
You
it was like
did?
the whole band. It was like
Shit.
It was like
Even the
Stevie and-
divorced ones?
Yes, like everybody who hates each other. It was like all of them all at once, and I was like, "How did they do this?" And then like maybe 2 years later, they broke up again. So I really got in there at the perfect time.
No, Fleetwood. I love myself some Fleetwood. Yeah, I like definitely a variety of stuff. Depends on like if you're talking about like current music or past music. I'll listen to like Bob Dylan at one moment and then go put on some Hamilton, just gotta have a diverse palette. Miriam says her second favorite band is actually a Beatles cover band. Of course. My second favorite band, just Paul McCartney and the Wings. Which is
there you go.
the spin-off
Classic.
band. And Amy's like, what's going on?
Amy's like music, modern music.
See, this is what happens when you guys talk about the Princess Bride. That's where my mind
I'm
is
just
at.
smiling and nodding. I am agreeing with all that you're saying because I have no opinion.
No opinion
Bands
on it.
and things.
We're going to do a history.com on bands.
On
bands.
Now we start talking some classical music. That's a different story.
They'll be included.
Thoughts. You know who loves classical music that I discovered? Drunk Sarah, our Sarah. I'm just going to call her our Sarah because I'm pretty sure she would appreciate not being referred to.
She's mostly sober.
She is. She's like, they're gonna just think that's all I do. And I'm like, no, it's okay. We will make it clear that you do not drink all the time. She's like, I literally just drink for this. But ballet, let's discuss. Honestly,
that's not in my wheelhouse by any means.
Not mine either.
Showed me a song from any of who you just mentioned, Fleetwood Mac, Nirvana. I would not be able to tell you who's who. It would be a straight multiple choice guess.
Not even after all the rumors conversation we had. See, now I want to do that. I want to do that on a podcast and be like, who is this?
We
should do that
we
for
just
us.
play Amy songs and we're like, who do you think that was?
Yeah, who do you
use
think
it
it
from
was?
a ballet, and you have to tell me what ballet it is. Oh, I like this. This is
Yeah,
fun.
we
We're
should
gonna
do that.
We're totally gonna fail, Kat, because I have no clue.
No, I don't even think I could tell you from Swan's Lake. I mean, I just like
Swan.
that probably just.
I think
Is
it's
it
just
Swan
Swan Lake.
Oh no! Oh no!
Swan's
Oh
Lake.
no! Oh no!
Swan owns that lake.
What was that movie that
Oh,
Oh, the
Swan
Natalie Portman one?
Princess.
Yeah,
Black
Natalie
Swan.
Portman one. Black Swan.
Black Swan.
That's all
Yeah.
I got from the Swan's Lake. That's all I got is that movie.
All right.
Which is also like based on an anime. They stole the whole. You ever see Perfect Blue?
No.
You should watch it. They stole the whole plot, and they actually stole scenes from Perfect Blue, and then they
No
made
way.
Black Swan. Yeah,
I'm gonna
really
look
good
that up
movie.
later.
yeah, it's a good movie. Anyways,
Right.
we're going back to that feedback, and we will keep getting off topic, so don't worry. So we know that's what you love about us.
Are we going to do another question corner? I can do a couple questions corners here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're going to do kind of a speed round. So,
Speed
I'm gonna
round.
pick the speed round
Us.
episode. Okay, this is great. From Meet the Pam, if you were on the Wave Rider and Gideon could make you only one meal, what would it be?
Ooh, I think it would either be Thai food or like pasta, but I think I have to go pasta because noodles are involved in both of those kind of dishes.
Chicken marsala.
Oh wow.
I do really, really spicy buffalo wings. I love buffalo wings.
I like
and
it.
I love spicy food.
Now that season 5 is over, how do you rank all of the seasons? Kaya says hers are 3, 2, 5, 4, and 1. Which
Definitely season 3.
is
think it's all in.
exactly my order too.
Yeah, I think that's my order. Yeah, no, that's definitely the order. I think
That's it.
I might wiggle between 5 and 4,
Yeah.
but I don't remember 4 enough. And I think I liked.
I think 5 was better than
5 and
4.
4. Yeah, 5
I
and
like
4.
this one better.
I think that might be the canonical right choice.
Yeah, that
Season
correct.
3 is definitely the best. And season 1's definitely the worst.
is. Yeah. So then it's like 2, 5, and 4. And between those, 2 is definitely better than the last 2 seasons. And this last season was definitely better than the 4th. So 3, 2, 5, 4, 1 is apparently now my.
That is, yeah, that's the correct. That is the correct
the
order.
correct one. If you disagree in the comments.
Yeah, put in the comments.
must
Explain
your
yourself.
answer.
Should we mix it up with an email? Real
Sure.
quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do 2 because the first one's really short.
Yeah, the first one's really short. I was excited to get this one. Okay. We got an email from Danny who said, "Hello, legendary ladies. So I had an entire dissertation prepared about the good and bad of season 5. Then I started rewatching season 1 a few weeks ago. Nope, I'm good. Season 5 was A-okay in my book."
Our favorite email.
If you don't know, that's Danny from the podcast Gay Gals Watch, and I did a guest spot on their 2-part episode on the pilot. And oh boy, going back to that was very weird.
So this next email was something that we actually just received yesterday and brought me an obscene amount of joy. So you guys know, if you've been listening to the last couple of episodes, that I nerded out about my college marching band, and my college marching band director saw me nerding out about it on Twitter, so decided to listen to the podcast episode, and then decided to go back and binge watch all of Legends of Tomorrow and then listen to all of our podcast episodes. And
I love him.
I do too. And so
That's dedication.
It's such dedication.
Email. It's really cool. And like, can we just, the idea that my old high school or my old college band director is emailing me because I do a podcast about a series of time traveling superheroes is like peak geek. And I am
It's the best.
so here for it. I feel like I have ascended. Like I have, I have achieved what needed to be done.
Thank God he wasn't your history teacher, because that wouldn't work out.
He would have been like, I failed her.
So his email, his name is Christopher Woodruff. We all called him C-Dub, so I'm not going to call him Christopher. It's a C-Dub. So C-Dub's email is, good afternoon. Among the joys of binging this show in the last couple of months has been gaining an appreciation for the craft that is brought to bear from every corner of production, from the writing to the incredible performances and the creative work that happens behind the camera. And your conversations on this podcast, to my awe, have done a great deal to shed light on all those aspects. One particular element that you've touched on is a kind of three-way alignment of story, character, and actor. There are some stories that are served well by the choice of certain characters playing a part when the story isn't centered around them, like Zari when Ray meets his own ET. Then there are some stories where the actor is great, but the character is a frustrating element in our digestion of that particular episode. Mona, Gary. But in other episodes, their participation is perfectly aligned and is a strong leg to the story. Nora's character is an example of one that started out as not a favorite, but over time seemed to arrive at a wonderful alignment with the show. It's a testament to the writing and to Miss Ford's art. And when her range was fully realized with her Marie Antoinette, I thought that was amazing. So I do have a question. So I have two. Number one, taking the above as kind of an arbitrary model, a balanced three-legged structure comprised of story, character, and actor, is there a season of Legends of Tomorrow you find particularly well balanced? Considering the characters changed from season to season, there's a whole bunch of adjustment that happens along those three legs to varying degrees of success. Question number two, is there another show that you think achieves a similarly well-balanced relationship between story writing, character, and performer? I just finished the final season of DS9, and I came away greatly impressed in this regard. Okay, that was long, so I don't expect you'll be able to use it. Of course, I used it.
Of course.
In any event, thank you for the opportunity to put these thoughts down.
And also not the longest, so you're
No.
good.
Oh my God. You learned them all. I thought this was very interesting. I've never really thought about it, but I think we do organize our episode discussions a little bit in this way, where we kind of break it down on different aspects in some ways that certain podcasts or certain reviews don't. We talk about the story, the character, and the choices made by the actors and directors and the crew people, which ultimately creates a well-rounded show. And I think a lot of that has to do comes to terms with the fact that the three of us are creators and writers and actors, and all of that means that we have a deeper appreciation or even just a different conception on what creates this show and how different parts play together. And I think we're sensitive to things that don't work well. So to answer his first question, is there a season of Legends that is particularly well balanced between story, character?
3.
Yeah, I'd say 3. I think
Because that's when they figured it out. That's when they figured out this whole we could put them in groups, and I feel like they figured out who the characters were and all.
Yeah, I think
all
they
that.
started. I think they started in 2, and they really hit their stride in 3. They were like, "This is what the show is," and then 4 things started to get bumpy.
But it's also we compare it to the greatest of Legends. Even though it's bumpy, I still think it's always an entertaining show, which I cannot say about every DC show. Honestly, I could say far and in between, they are entertaining, and I'm sorry guys. But sometimes watching those shows are a struggle. Like, it's just like I'm always doing something else, and it's just like, oh, this feels like the same thing over and over again. But because this is somewhat of an anthology show in some regards, if you don't like one episode, you might really love the next one. And I think that's always why I like watching this on a weekly basis and why I enjoy the show and talking about those breakdowns. I think it works because of how the show is structured in that regard and is different from any of the other Berlanti shows, definitely in particular.
I think I would also agree with 3. However, my actual first instinct is to say season 2.
Yeah.
Almost strictly for the fact that I think season 2 nailed the villain better than anyone else. The Legion of Doom was, in my opinion, the most successful villain Legends has ever had. And it was the best balanced villainy that we've had. Like, it took a bit for them to get into, and we see this every season where it takes them about half a season before the big bad is really introduced. But what I liked about season 2 is that it was so distinctive from season 1 that the story elements balanced really well, where they're like, okay, we now have a very clear definition that we have these abominations, these people who should not exist in a certain time period. We need to fix that. So I liked that a lot. And I think that the acting was particularly well done. I think for the most part, with the exception of Mick, not the acting, but that's more of Mick's character. I think that the acting in season 2 was very well done. But of course, we're so used to like Zari and as such a key member of the team that it's hard to think about appreciating the show without Zari's character. So I want to say 3, but honestly, I think 2 for me.
Yeah, I think.
When did we have Charlie? Was that season 3 or season 4?
Charlie was
4. Amaya.
Season 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amaya was in 2 and 3. Yeah,
Well, it's kind of interesting too, though, because even though I think I like Amaya as a character more, I think Maisie was a better actress as Charlie. Just
Really?
because of how,
I don't know. I think I liked her. Yeah,
like
I liked
Amaya
Amaya.
more?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe because she was being, which maybe not saying better actress, but I feel like she was being her more of herself in the Charlie character than the Amaya character. But I don't know, maybe because it's also been so long since I have not rewatched these episodes since we
I really
watched
want to
them.
go back and watch season 2 now.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe because I'm so used to just watching Charlie because that's what we've had. Maybe I'll go back and be like, no, never mind. Amaya was really good, but it's just been so long.
If you're talking about this balance though between story, character, and actor, Amaya over Charlie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I think for Amaya, she had a clear like arc, whereas I think Charlie had an arc definitely, but they kept forgetting about her. So she would be like, and then they would just, and then
But
yeah,
how about
that's
in
right.
her acting? I feel like there was more emotional moments for Amaya.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe even in the acting, I think. Maybe she's
Yeah, I
better
saw
there, too.
in the chat, Robin Hood 3000 said, I feel like on rewatch, season 2 is a lot more consistent than season 3. Season 3
Yes.
hits the absolute highest highs, but there's some meh in the mix too.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. They're both good seasons.
Yeah.
I think season 2 fits that kind of model that C-Dub's talking about. His other question, is there another show that you think achieves a similarly well-balanced relationship between story, character, and performer? And all I'm going to say right now is 12 Monkeys. 100%
Yeah.
is unequivocally, like, you sit there, you could write a dissertation on 12 Monkeys. I think it needs to be watched by people who want to create.
Honestly,
I have to watch that show now.
The best show I've seen from, I don't know about actor because I don't know the actor. Well, I do know the actors above this. Honestly, Dead to Me. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I
haven't watched it yet.
I know
one of the best written shows from
Really?
character to theme. The theme of the show, not to spoil too much, but the show is about this woman who loses her husband with a hit and run. And then this is the first episode. We find out she goes to this grief counseling thing and she becomes best friends with the main character from Freaks and Geeks. She becomes best friends with her. And we find out she's the woman who hit the husband. And the whole story is this moral compass of, okay, I'm becoming best friends with this woman. And also this woman who hit the husband is the sweetest person ever. And she keeps sacrificing herself for other people. And it's just like from theme to character, it just works so freaking well. And it's just such a well-written show. And then the first season wraps everything up pretty much in a knot. You're like, well, how did they go from here? And then season 2,
I know what happens in season 2.
Yeah, and they have some really interesting story. And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole different show, but it's not a whole different show. And it's just so well written. So to that regard, from plot to character, maybe actor as well.
I feel like I kind of want to say like Buffy, just from like the stories I thought were really well, the world building was really well done, the actors like were all so good in their parts, and then the characters, like I felt like those characters were like real people who like I knew.
And we still talk about it to this day.
And we still talk about it now. Yeah.
We got to get Amy to watch Buffy.
We all have to watch all these shows. It's funny. No. Amy hasn't watched Buffy. I haven't watched 12 Monkeys or Dead to Me.
There we go.
Watched Dead to Me or Buffy. So deal.
Well, some of them are bigger time commitments than others, is the thing.
That's true. We might have to have a pilot. We'll see. Or maybe like 2 episodes or something.
I will tell you. Well, okay, so my thought, and I've told this to people who I've suggested, I said, if you're not hooked by the end of the 12 Monkeys pilot, you will not like the rest of the series. Like, that's the reality. It's so indicative of the rest of the series that by the end of the pilot, if you're not like, okay, I'm here for it. If you don't buy the characters' relationships with each other, you will not enjoy the rest of the series.
Well, we're going to do our pilot cast. So we'll
do that on. Yeah, let's throw that in the mix for pilot cast.
All right, you guys want to do another question corner or read an email?
Yeah.
Let's do another email so we can get through some of those.
Sure. I think you're next, Kat.
Okay, so this is from Geo Puzzler. I finally took some time to stop and write down my thoughts about Legends Season 5. My favorite parts of the season were Ava and Mick being buddies, the Mick and Lita storyline, Mona barely appearing, Zari 1.0. I hope she gets to come out and play during Season 6. I was sad to lose Maisie, not so much Season 5 Charlie, because she did not have much to do, Ray and Nora. Was Nate the Jax of the season? It looks like it from what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Other than the Dion episode, I do not remember another storyline where he was more or less important. Still not feeling Bayrod. Oh, or Zari 2.0. Damn. Not even. Well, Bayrod doesn't have much of an arc, but I like him.
I could understand maybe not feeling Bayrod so much because we don't know much about him, but I really like Zari 2.0.
I grew to like Zari 2.0, which is what Legends does well.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Ava.
Like a character. Yeah, exactly.
Which we'll have a whole episode on. So don't worry. We're going to be talking about that. I was looking forward to the encores being more important. Well, and part of the time travel justification. And once the Luma fate became the Rubik's Cube, the time travel basically stopped and the encores were all combined in just 2 episodes. Could have been much better. I'm not sure if the writers knew what they wanted out of Ava and the Wave Rider. In the Bugsy episode, she had to stop herself from being a leader and telling the team what to do. Suddenly, just 2 episodes later, when Sarah asks her to be co-captain pantsuit, she does not think she is ready. And even after the co-captains for life discussion, Ava is still fumbling, trying to come up with a motivational speech, very unlike Director Sharp. I have a feeling because they knew what direction they were going to go in the end of the season. So they broke it down. They're like, we know we have to get here. How do we do that? And maybe they fumbled a little bit in the middle for that, but I think that's why they tried doing the whole Ava thing. I wonder if Sarah being so unbelievable as a blind person was Katie's way to tell the writers how little she liked her power. A couple of come on examples that come to mind are from the zombie episode. When the bus arrives, she reaches in and holds onto the railing to talk to the driver. And then when Ava gets shot, she's right away yells Ava's name and drops next to her as if she had seen the bullet. Not sure. She might have in that future.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the only thing we'll give you on that one. Not sure how much Ava Lance is there going to be next season, if Jess and Katie are going to direct an episode each, plus the mandatory Sarah's in the coma episode. That's definitely going to be the premiere, don't worry.
Yes,
as for my ratings, outstanding episodes were Slay Anything, Mr. Parker, and the one where we're trapped in TV. I have Miss Me, Kiss Me, Love Me as poor, and all the other episodes more or less halfway split between episodes' expectations and acceptable. Overall, worse than season 2 and 3, and around the same as season 4. I like season 1, but it cannot be ranked with the other 4 because it feels like a completely different show.
That is very true.
Very true.
right.
All right. Let's get to some question corners.
Do we want to jump back up to some question corners?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
do
think
it.
there was one from Banjo Man, that's at Lou_Jeffrey, who said, "We've seen how Zari 2.0 is a polar opposite of Zari 1.0. How do you think our core characters would be if they had alternate versions of themselves? Would Mick be a Rhodes Scholar that drinks kombucha instead of beer? Instead of assassin, would Sarah be a cat lady who knits?"
I think that lady definitely works. So
Oh,
we're saying the
amazing.
opposite. I like
Yeah.
the Sarah one. Ava, I feel like Ava's kind of becoming the opposite because of her relationship with Sarah. Like she's not as, not as uptight about things.
Maybe Ava becomes like a wild like party girl.
That could be a very, very different opposite because right now she's the middle ground of that. She hangs
Ava
out with
Ava becomes
firemen.
like a woo girl, like a woo.
I like
girl you
that.
see at a bachelorette party.
Nate is like an engineer or a mechanic. Like
The opposite of a scholar.
yeah.
What if Nate becomes a historian? We haven't seen him do it in
Actually
so long.
talks about history. Oh.
Who else do we have?
Bayrod.
Gideon just
Gideon.
becomes a really, really bad like Alexa that doesn't answer any questions.
Which
Like,
we've also
so
seen.
like Siri.
Yes, she becomes Siri. I really like that. Who else? We're missing someone. Oh, Bayrod.
Bayrod. Did we do Zari 2.0?
Well, I guess because she's already the opposite. Yeah.
Yes,
Constantine
true.
also. We didn't
Yeah,
do Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine.
Constantine would just be
have to
happy.
someone- like, right? Like, he would have to be a super down to earth, happy. Like, he's literally just the happiest vegetable gardener you've ever met.
Yes.
He has
Definitely a
community
vegan.
garden.
Yes,
He
he's
counts
definitely vegan.
Everyone. He has weekly sessions where there are just so many people who he talks to.
What about Ray? Would Ray just
Oh.
basically become Constantine?
Yes.
Ray would be constant. We have a comment that's going to be coming in. Robin Hood says, I want to see the bad Janet version of Gideon. For
Yes.
sure.
Yes. By the way, I just binged the first 3 seasons of
Ooh.
Isn't it so amazing?
I thought that was my only 3, and so I was like, that's literally the worst way to end. I didn't realize that season 4 just isn't out on Netflix yet.
Oh my god! Wait until you like. I like ugly cried at the finale.
Yeah,
like,
no,
the
it's a
series
good finale. Yeah, it's
so
like
good.
it ends well, which is nice. It's a good show.
You want to talk about the balance of character, writing, and story.
Whew.
Not necessarily all of The Good Place, but Michael's character of The Good Place.
Well, I was
Yeah.
actually I was
And Eleanor.
I was honestly between Buffy and The Good Place for that question because I just
It's
think
shocking.
all the stories, like I don't know, they're all the characters are so well served on that show.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even if not every episode's perfect, I think the story is always really good every season. At least for me, I know some people complain. Everyone's gonna complain about something. They're like, it's not perfect, but honestly, like I think it's a really well written show, season from season. Like I
Yeah.
never got bored from that show.
No, me
There
neither.
were very few episodes where you were like, that was okay. Almost every
Yeah.
episode, you were like, that was good.
Yeah, either good or great.
I liked how they shook up the format of that show like every other episode too. It's like really, really something surprising to see.
And that was so groundbreaking about that show is that sitcoms, from what we know about them and what we know about comedy shows, is that they're the things that it's what you do over and over again. Like, all right, this is Full House. It's like they're gonna have a random hug in the end or whatever. So in this, it's like changing up the story in a sitcom is, even though it's not considered a sitcom, it is sitcom comedy, is mind-blowing. And it's cool how they flip the structure, and yeah, it's a great show.
I really do like the idea of Sarah being an assassin or being a cat lady who knits.
Amazing.
That'd be my
I
think
love
that's
it.
perfect.
Next question from Dr. Calzona is, what's your guys' favorite Ava Lance moment?
Ooh, there's so many good ones.
Like from this season,
Any
I would assume,
ever.
or any season. Because if it's any season, it's like the IKEA episode, probably.
yeah, just a whole IKEA episode,
just the whole one. If it's from this
and the
season-
summer camp. I think summer camp.
the summer
episode.
camp. I
Yeah.
always forget about the summer camp episode. It was so good. think if it was from this season, it would probably be that conversation in the zombie episode, the co-captain's conversation.
Which kind of sucks. That has to be the best because it's not a great episode, but that's like
I know.
good moment in the episode. I just love that documentary episode. I like
the documentary
Sarah
episode was so good.
Yeah.
I think
when Ava's trying to give her the card that says like,
oh yeah,
I'm sorry,
love all
your
that. Yeah,
boyfriend died.
She doesn't know how to talk about her feelings. It's great.
Oh man. Okay, Rachel posted when we were talking about like what would the opposite of our characters be. She said, so basically you're describing all the characters minus their core traumas.
Yeah,
True.
kind of. Actually, we kind of are.
Like, what would happen if Constantine didn't lose multiple people to an exorcism? He probably would be a super down-to-earth guy who'd be willing to make friends.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like he'd still be.
All right, email?
Yeah.
I think it was me
It
next.
is you.
So,
Yeah, you're red, I
Let me
believe.
find my spot. Okay. We got an email from Chloe. She says, "Hey, legendary ladies. My name is Chloe, and I'm a relatively new listener to the Legends of Tomorrow podcast, but I've been watching Legends of Tomorrow since the beginning. I found you guys on Spotify when I was curious if there even was a Legends podcast.
Did you even know we were on Spotify?
is.
I didn't.
I didn't know you were. That's exciting for us, isn't it?"
I think Andy makes us on Spotify, so go Andy.
I think so. The first episode I listened to was the Drunk Legends Watch with Sarah. So I was hooked pretty quickly. That's a pretty incredible introduction to this podcast. I can't lie.
It's definitely our peak moment. We're never going to get better than that, but
So good. So good.
Honestly, if you don't buy our chemistry on that episode, you won't like the rest of the podcast.
That is very true. Chloe says, I went back and listened to all the season 5 episodes, and I've been meaning to write into you guys ever since. That's awesome. She said, I am class of 2020 high school graduate. And in late. Oh, congrats.
Yeah,
and also, I'm
congratulations.
sorry. What a terrible year to have to graduate.
Yeah.
She said, and in light of the Black Lives Matter protests and everything going on right now, your podcast just brought a smile to my face. I really loved your recent queer representation episode, and I'm looking forward to part 2. One topic you spoke about was the first time you guys saw LGBTQ characters on TV. And I have to be honest, the first time I truly saw was Sarah Lance. And that was probably when I was 14 or 15 years old. Ever since I've seen myself in characters like Ava Sharp and Nicole Haught from Winona Earp, I really related to both Ava and Nicole's drive and motivation when it came to their jobs and the way it took them a little bit of time to truly open up and be vulnerable. I'd love to give my 2 cents on season 5 of Legends. This was a solid season, and I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10 Wave Riders. I really want Mick's daughter, Lita, to join the team and possibly become the next Captain Cold, which would be amazing.
I would, I'd be so game.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
I love that.
Love that.
She said, I love Lita's talk with Charlie in the finale, and I think it would be great to see a female character around my age on the Wave Rider. Lita would definitely add an interesting dynamic to the team. Looking forward to season 6. She said, when it comes to the hiatus, I don't think I can wait that long to get Sarah back, but I know your podcast will get me through. Along with additional representation episodes, I think it would be fun to play some trivia with you guys and truly test our Legends knowledge.
I think we need to do some
audio,
history.
Fill in the blank. Who said it?
I need to do some
I
history.
think we gotta do some trivia of some kind.
We would lose. I think
We
I still
would.
want to do a trivia. I think we need to have Rebecca from Supergirl Radio come on and moderate a trivia game between the 3 of us and 3 of our fans, and it's just 2
That'd be
teams.
fun.
And
We
I
lose.
Do we get to keep?
100%.
Do we? Are we a team or do we get to like pair
I would
off with
hope
the
we're.
fans?
I hope we're
Give
a
us a
team, because the fans are gonna win this
The
one.
fans are gonna just like wipe the
Fans
floor with us.
versus official podcasters.
We
I
don't
love
have
this
good
idea,
memory. As you saw with that one tweet when we forgot a sentence before that was just read. We do not have a good
That's
memory.
true. That's true. I feel like mine's only gotten worse. So Chloe says, also, Winona Earp season 4 is finally coming this summer, and I'm so pumped. I know this is a Legends podcast and don't know if you guys watch Winona Earp. I do. But I would
I have
really
not
enjoy-
seen all of it, but you're like a hardcore fan, right, Morgan? Like you've seen all of it?
We went to an Earth
I've seen
party.
all of it. Yeah, I'm an Earper. Yeah, I'm not like super
Right.
hardcore, but I've definitely seen all the episodes.
I've seen like probably like 3 seasons, and then after like episodes here and there. But I've
Yeah.
seen enough, obviously, to know what the show is and most of what the show is about.
It's a good one. She says, but I would really enjoy hearing about you guys' other favorite fandoms outside of Legends. She said, I know this is a pretty long email, but I just had to get that all out to you. Thanks so much for making the podcast. It makes a lot of people's days a bit brighter. Stay legendary and keep Erpin, says Chloe.
Thank you.
Thanks,
That's the
Chloe.
best. And we'll also say that the feedback that we got for the Queer Representation podcast, we're planning on doing a whole another episode. And obviously, we're going to talk to everybody and email them to say, would you like this read or not? And if you'd like your name or whatever, maybe we could do like a Q&A and do the same thing we did here, but with the Queer Representation episode and the feedback, because we just got so much great feedback for that.
I feel like it was the
mind-blowing.
most like heartwarming moment of the podcast for me was
Yeah.
just reading
Yeah.
all of the feedback that we got from that one.
It
Oh,
sort of
100%.
blew me away.
Mm-hmm. Cause we did it just like, we wanted to have a good conversation. Honestly, I didn't expect that at all. Like I really didn't. I thought, hey, we're just going to talk about, topics that are important to us. But we were all blown away.
And on top of everything, a lot of them, anytime that we got feedback that was, so you talked about this, but you missed this, or I wish that you had talked about this, it was all so incredibly respectful. And I learned so much from the responses we got that I think, I cannot wait to have a feedback episode about the feedback, because it's its own episode's worth of content.
Oh yeah,
which
definitely.
is why we did that, because we really, hopefully soon we'll have that up for you guys. Also another thing I hope we can do, and something I feel like we really missed on, was to have people of color on our cast. I would really like to try to have that and get that perspective as well, and obviously different aspects of the LGBTQ community as well, because we didn't have time to touch upon like asexuality and transgender, but we want to, and we would love to get people that fit into that to talk about those topics.
Can I create a quick question corner out of Chloe's email? So she said she
Yeah.
was hearing about our other favorite fandoms outside of Legends. So like super quick, right off the cuff, what are your go-to fandoms right now?
This second.
Oh geez.
It's funny. I was telling Morgan, you'll listen to the podcast that we'll talk about at the end, but I'm watching Seinfeld right now, so that's not much of a fandom. But it's a comfort show. I don't know. I read a lot of comics, so it's just like if I'm spending my time, I usually will read.
I feel like when I think fandom, I think being like really into something, and
exactly.
I kind of burn through stuff and then like go to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten like really into. I mean, Winona Earp, I think is one that I'm excited that's coming back, and I like follow people and see what's happening like with that fandom, like just from Twitter osmosis. So that's probably the closest I would have.
Yeah, there's an Addicts of 12 Monkeys Facebook group that the actors and writers and creators are super active on. And even though the show's over now, or because the show's over, they've been sharing really cool behind the scenes videos and casting videos and art and deleted scenes and costumes and like rehearsals. So it's been really, really fun to see that. So I'm super active in that, in watching and scrolling through that right now. But I'm the same way. I haven't really been a part of a fandom for a while, which is such an interesting idea with the binging. And can you become a fandom if you binge a whole show right away? Which is
I honestly, I feel like to a certain extent, because a lot of shows are just all dropped at once and aren't coming out like week to week, like that fandom-y thing where you're like discussing theories with like your friends and stuff has kind of fallen by the wayside. It's just like, oh, did you watch this thing? It was really good. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And then like, cool.
Yeah.
It goes into our culture of how, and especially now, like how everything's just like thrown into your face and everything has to be very quick, and we don't take our time to appreciate things. And I feel like it's, again, especially in this day and age, we don't take the time to appreciate anything, but also art. We just like, all right, that was a cool show. Like Stranger Things, right? Like people love that show, but people don't really like, they talk about it in the sake of a different way, right? It's just not like, oh, what happened in that episode with 11? What happened in this? It's just like, did you see that season? It was so good. And that's like the utmost fandom of a binge show. Like that's the most.
Yeah, I think that's probably like the one of the big. I just watched a show on Netflix that came out probably like couple weeks ago or a month ago called Never Have I Ever. It's
I heard good stuff about that.
It's fantastic, but like again, it was a half-hour episodes and there were like 10 of them, so I got through it in like a week. Like I'm gonna remember that show, but by the time the next season comes out, it might be a year.
The closest thing was because of the quarantine was Tiger King. And I think it's such a crazy show. I know it's definitely not a good show, and
that did feel like a collective moment we all had where we were like, what is this?
Yeah, I actually want to take back what I said. They're not good people. I have to say it is a good show because
it's a good show about terrible people.
Yeah, the way they crafted it, but also are they giving popularity to people that don't deserve it? You see, like what's her face on camera making money that way, and it's like, is that really that's poisonous, and that's not good for the community. So or community as in this world. So there's also questionable ethics. Same questionable ethics that go to the filmmaker. It's like, because you put this out here, what does this mean about giving fame to these people that are all bad? Yeah. Amy, I definitely do not recommend on your side.
I actually chose not to watch it, and so far, very few people at the park have asked me, like fans, have you seen Tiger King? And I was like, yeah, no, I chose not to watch it. They're all like, good choice. But it's interesting if you look at Game of Thrones versus The Witcher, both of which have the potential to be really like shows. You have Game of Thrones, which took 7-8 years to build a story, and then you have The Witcher, which is only the first season, but you finish the episode and it's like you get off the roller coaster and go, that was fun, but you don't get a chance to go, oh my gosh, that loop and that spin and that feeling I felt right there, and oh my gosh, how cool was that to feel like you were gonna fly out of your skin. Like you almost can't appreciate a roller coaster if it happens in a heartbeat. You have to enjoy the moment, and I wish that Witcher would come out like every week.
That's a good point, because I'm just thinking about like what's the last thing I was really super into that I felt like everybody else was really super into? The Mandalorian. And what did that do? That came out week to week.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked forward to it every week.
Yeah. All right. So that was an email. Do we want to do another email? I can do another email real fast.
Let's do one more question in the people. That way they can ask more questions, and we'll get another email. But what were your first fandoms?
Teen Titans.
Sailor Moon.
Which actually we have a Sailor Moon question. We have a Sailor Moon question. We do. This one I saw. That's hard. Like I remember the first show I really loved was Lizzie McGuire. Like I love Lizzie McGuire. And I was really into it. I don't know if that's a fandom though. I'd say my first fandom was probably Smallville or Heroes. Those were ones that like engrossed. Like I love.
I feel like Heroes has to like Heroes is like part of your origin story, because it wasn't isn't that in your like Twitter?
It is,
I mean your YouTube name?
My YouTube. Yeah, I loved Heroes even when it was bad. I stuck through that thing.
Oh yikes! Heroes.
I think my first like fandom that I participated in was actually the Warriors book series by Aaron Hunter. I don't know. I would be surprised if you guys read it. It's about a series of feral cats who live in clans and talk to each other.
I have not even heard of it.
It's predicting all the books. Like if you want a book that you can, anyway, it's fantastic. She also has ones about like savannah animals. Anyway, there were message boards. Remember when message boards and
of course I do.
I used to do that all the time.
Where like it was like role-playing message boards where you had a character and your character interacted with
I remember those. Remember those? Used to have them for like Harry Potter and like Buffy and like
that was it. That was the first time where I had a true fandom, because we were all crazy.
So it was like RPG, like back before. So you guys had to explain it again. What did you do for
They were basically like forms, but they were like they were like RPGs. Like you would.
That's what I thought.
You would have your own character, and then you would like interact.
And there were like different. You go to a board, and one of the boards was like the Great Hall, and the other, which is reference.
The Harry Potter, but there were. I
have to say,
like a Harry Potter one, like when I was like in middle school or something.
I was not on those message boards. I remember just being on those Smallville message boards and being like, "What's going to happen to Chloe next?" And
I remember reading the Television Without Pity Smallville message boards. They used to be my favorites.
I used to love thinking about like, oh, look at that promo. What do you think? Like about what's gonna happen.
Like I remember like all the Lost stuff. Like after every episode, there was like so much like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Slow it down. Take a screen cap of this. Let's try to read what's on the wall. Like nowadays, you would already know what that was by the end of the season. So why
journalists
think about
at the time that they get their job, and it's just like, obviously as journalists, a lot of times we get screeners, and we get to watch it like a week ahead of time or whatever, and we get to like think about the episode, and then like this is what you missed, so
Yeah. No, I think as an adult, my first fandom that I recognize as an adult where I was truly involved like that was Fringe.
Fringe.
That feels like it was recently, but now that I think, it was literally like back in my early college years. So I'm talking.
Fringe was a while ago.
But that feels, I don't know. It's just, it was so crucial to me, like as becoming a fan, that was a big deal for me. All right. Do we want to do another question corner? Or do we want to do an email?
Let's do another email and then we'll go to another question corner.
All right. This is from Fiona. Should I read in a Scottish accent? No.
Can you?
Oh gosh. Is
that in your arsenal?
Try, except for she would get really mad at me. I'd probably lose it halfway through and end up in an Irish accent somehow. Fiona said, I thought as a season 5 was pretty good. Not the best one, season 3, but even a not so good season of Legends is still better than any other show on CW. I'm just sad it was only 15 episodes. It made the season feel so rushed. Highlights for me were the Trapped in TV episode and Romeo and Juliet, Dawn of Justice. To be honest, I think the Fates, now I can say, I think, she says, I thought the Fates arc, but I can't, the Fates, because even the Scottish character could only say Fates, correct? And then she lost her accent.
That's true.
Was very poor, and the season was much better when it focused on the encores. I loved Maisie, but Charlie was never well developed, and her climax was ironically very anticlimactic. The Sarah is blind story could have been really interesting and powerful, but ultimately was poorly executed, completely unnecessary and underdeveloped. Take it out, and nothing was lost to the series arc.
Yep, that's very true.
The development of Ava and her relationship with Sarah was wonderful, and co-captains for life will forever be iconic. I realize now that that was necessary to center Ava as co-captain, so the team trusts her implicitly to take over once Sarah was abducted. I expect next season to be high stakes as they search the galaxy for Sarah, although I hope it doesn't take too long to reunite them. Although maybe they need to with COVID-19. After all, no romantic scenes will be allowed for some time. Remember, Fiona's a doctor. Wear your mask, people.
Yes, please.
She didn't write that. I wrote that for. She continues. So overall, a pretty good season, but not my favorite. I'm excited that we will get a season 6, and I'm okay with the show going in a more sci-fi direction. I'm a long-time X-Files fan.
Yeah, X-Files.
I think they're doing a great job with balancing the character-driven plots and humor, and with pretty solid LGBTQ+ representation. I hope since we have lost Charlie and Astra this season that the new Legend is a woman of color and is developed better than the previous woman of color on the show. Hope you are all keeping well. Stay safe and stay legendary, Fiona.
And I agree. I hope we get more people of color on the show.
Me too.
Should we read one more email and then get to another question corner?
Go for it.
All right. This one's not too long. This is from Shang, I believe. Greetings. The writers definitely took the feedback in from the last season and improved. The rose amongst the thorns of writing decisions made the thorns being for shows where their heroes wear capes. I always loved Legends because of the way they have both humor and hard-hitting lessons. This encore concept was also way better than last season's mystical creature thing. Mm-hmm. I'm a little skeptical about the alien thing they are doing for next season, but I'm hoping to be surprised. I'm more into angst shows such as Motherland, Fort Salem. It's very good. It makes you cry.
All the time.
Also, the plot revolves around a lesbian and bisexual couple where you have to dissect every line and directing choice while being stressed because you don't want anyone to die. But Legends has always been that one weird, goofy show I can just sit and shut my brain off to, and I love that. And they give the season 8.8 out of 10.
Nice.
All right.
Should
Question
we do?
corner.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling up.
Scrolling. Yeah, me too.
Okay, from Michael. Do you think Legends, as lighthearted as it becomes, will ever grapple with history as serious-minded a manner as they have in past episodes like season 2's Abominations? Is that something you would or wouldn't like to see?
I definitely would like to see it. I don't think they're going to do it.
I would like to see it if they like took it seriously and like really went in there and did it. If they were going to do it kind of like half jokey, I think that could come off very poorly.
And that's hard because that's the show's tone. So if you switch the tone completely, I don't know if it even works.
I feel like you have to do like a real hard tonal shift to not be too comedy like centered.
I think they just need the appropriate setting. That's why Abominations worked well. The setting that it was in physically, and
it's also such a different show, though. It wasn't as jokey as it is now.
But there are points where they have done it with Zari's stuff.
That's true.
And I think that if I think with the invent of Legends, in aliens, like in space, I know that a lot of shows have played with the idea of refugees and people who are trying to fit in where they feel like they don't belong. But Legends is a show about people who trying to fit in where they don't belong.
They might do it better than Supergirl. We'll see.
I think that there's a potential for that kind of a storyline.
I feel like that bar's low.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the idea of I would be fascinated to see the Legends exploring a galaxy and discovering literally a galaxy of inequality and realizing that maybe for them, people who are so drastically different, maybe they get an alien crew member, you have someone who's a different time person, you've got people with powers, people who don't. On the ship, they're all equal. They all share responsibility. They all are responsible for each other. And I would be really interested to see them discover a galaxy where maybe people are not equal and they have to find a way to, maybe during their exploration of Sarah, they discover just how much the world is lacking and how much change is necessary. I mean, there's so much potential. I think they could do it.
Yeah, I think they're really good at like balancing the stories and finding like the emotional story in what they're doing, even when it's like a little out there. So I think that they could do probably a good job.
Yeah. Oh, Michael has a second part. If you could pick 2 Legends actors to guest on the podcast, who would you want and why? Quick.
Ooh.
Guest on the podcast. I feel like you have to go Katie Lotz.
Katie Lotz, yes.
And Tala Ashe.
Ooh,
yeah, Tala, I think.
Easy. And Matt.
Although I think Brandon Routh would be really fun. I think he'd be like a chill hangout conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. Okay. Okay, this question's from Swara. This is I don't have an answer for this. Which Sailor Sensei are you?
That's Sailor Scout.
All right. So I have to think about this. So back when I was little and we all had to pick our own Sailor Scout, which obviously you had to do. Sometimes you couldn't choose your own. You were just like, you're this person. And I got assigned Sailor Venus, so she's always been my favorite.
I love Sailor Venus. She's my favorite, and I know that's so. I'm glad that she's your favorite.
And like Bonnie, she just wanted to be famous.
She really did just want to be famous. She started out as like a superhero, and then she's like, nah. And then
I went on like a whole. I went on a whole rant one time, like when Mike and I were on vacation, about how Sailor Venus is actually the original Sailor Scout, and she's like the OG, and she's like what from everybody else comes from. And somebody, like a girl, was like walking past me, and she was like, "That's right."
I love
it. Was incredible.
I don't know if I would call myself Sailor Venus, though. I love her. I don't know if I'm a Sailor V. Who am I?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like I'm probably more Sailor Moon. I don't want to be. I think I'm a little bit more of a Sailor Moon. Or Mars. Okay, I know. I
was about to say, I could see a Mars. Like you're a little fiery.
Yeah, fiery. Also,
is this like which Avatar element am I?
Kind of. Yeah, it's pretty similar, actually.
Okay.
But they are characters. So, like, Sailor Scouts, they represent princesses from another kingdom. And then they end up being pretty much reincarnated as teenage girls. And they're Sailor Scouts, and it's a magical girl anime. So the main character is Sailor Moon, and they call her Meatball Head in the English version because she has these little ponytails. And
like
she's
that.
like kind of lazy, but she's also like strong-willed. Like when she needs to get stuff done, she does it. Sailor Mars,
but she'd rather just nap and eat.
yeah, she'd rather nap and eat. She loves it.
I really
She's
relate very heavily to
That's
Sailor
why I'm like,
Moon.
I'm probably Sailor Moon. Sailor Mars, very fiery, and also she I don't know if she owns a shrine, but she's like her
I
family
think she
owns a
works
shrine.
in there. Yeah,
She
I think
works
it's
at
her
a
family.
shrine. So she's like very organized. She's like teenage girl's like, I gotta go to work.
She's like, I got this. Sailor Mercury is like the smarty pants who
No one
like,
likes her.
I feel like people don't give Mercury enough credit, even though she's like, here, I figured out the whole thing, and they're like,
But her
"Get outta here.
powers suck.
outta here,
Her
Amy.
power is to
outta
blow
here
bubbles at people.
with your bubbles and your water." Sailor Jupiter is like this is Sporty Spice basically.
Yeah, she's sweet. But she loves to cook. She loves
She's
to
tall,
cook.
got a ponytail.
tall.
She's Ariana Grande, but taller.
Yeah. And not a diva.
And not a diva at all. No, she's sporty.
But
She's like
Sailor
tomboy.
V-
There we go, I'll be that.
You're gonna be Sailor Jupiter?
Sure.
Okay.
Do a
No
high
one,
ponytail.
I'll say no one usually picks Sailor Jupiter.
I
but
can do a high ponytail and I can cook.
Yeah,
honestly,
I
you're
think
Sailor
that's
Jupiter.
pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got Sailor V, Sailor Mars, and Sailor Jupiter. No one wants to be Mercury, and there's other Sailor Scouts too that are these outer.
Mercury.
Did I not say?
That was
What
the
did I
best.
say?
I said
no
that's
one's
so
Sailor
funny that no
Mercury.
one wants to be Sailor Mercury.
Because
No,
she sucks.
she's a little stick in the mud. She's like
She's not a little stick in the mud. She's a big stick in the mud. Anytime they want to have fun, they're like, here's my bubble powers. Let me get my Pokédex out and see if this is an okay scenario.
That's
Ooh,
amazing.
I recommend Sailor Moon, but only watch Sailor Moon Abridged. It's hysterical. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
I need
seen
to look
Sailor
that
Moon
up.
Abridged. Oh, so good. Anyways, there was Sailor Moon.
There's a question in the chat that I've seen once or twice today, and I really want to answer it. It's from Erp Spoon. Are you guys pro Ava Lance wedding?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
I think it would be kind of refreshing to have them like get together and get married and be like a married couple, and then just like not have a ridiculous drama all the time. Like I think that's kind of what I like about them. Like they communicate with each other and they like have a pretty healthy relationship. And I think so much on TV is like so over dramatic.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
I don't remember if it was Erp Spoon or someone else had mentioned like how would Sarah and Ava do in like how would they feel about a wedding? Like Ava might be for it because that's what you do, and she's very like by the book. Whereas would Sarah be a little reluctant? I don't know.
I think they got over that though after the IKEA stuff and moving in. I think she'd be all for it now. I think they're just be like, all right, cool.
I think Sarah would be scared of like kind of classic story. I feel like Sarah would find a way to be nervous about, well, what if I hurt her? What if I break her heart?
I feel like they got over that though. I don't know. I wouldn't want that to be a narrative.
I feel like they're kind of committed now.
Like, yeah, they are kind of committed, like co-captains.
They
It's just
share
like,
that
"Ah,
bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. That one bathroom, that's love. Mike and I don't even just have one bathroom.
I think, and I don't know if she has the power to, but I just think Alex Danvers should officiate.
I mean, I'm sure she can get
I like
the
it.
power too.
It might be awkward given their history.
That's why
Yeah,
it
it
would
would
be
be.
adorable. No drama lands.
No drama
Love
lands.
whoever
Yes,
commented
that's
on
what I
that.
like it.
That's true. I think that I think that it needs to be a really like just a great like wedding. Like, yep, that's gonna happen. That's it. All right.
I think we should do the emails and then we'll do all the question corners. If you guys have any last minute questions, do it now so we can. That'll be like the last half of the episode. We'll just answer all those questions.
I think it was my turn.
Yeah.
So we got an email from Daryl who said, "We're so lucky that we don't have to deal with unresolved production issues like the other Arrowverse shows, and we got our entire season," which is, yeah, that's a very good point. He said, "I'm very sad Astra didn't get her mother back. It was her one goal the entire time. Ava being a clone needs a plot next season because they just won't let us forget it. One disappointment I had with the season is they turned into all the other CW shows where they care about who ends up with who almost more than anything else. First, Charlie and Zari flirt a bit, then that's shoved off for a possible Zari 2.0 and Nate connection, and yet again, that's forgotten for a Zari and Constantine pairing. What would they have done if Zari 2.0 and Constantine had no chemistry? Gone to Mick? Ava,
Maybe.
I mean, who knows? Ava Lance is by far the best part of the season, co-captains for life. Also, where is Zari's dragon? It's the one thing I wanted to see this season. As Daenerys Targaryen put it, where are my dragons?
That's true.
I just have a feeling the budget wasn't there for the dragon this season.
We were promised dragons.
They scaled up too much.
It's true.
So I do this if I get an inspiration in the middle. I put it on a Post-it note, and I don't know if you guys are watching can read it, but my Post-it note says "wrong clone." In Fringe, there was this beautiful story where there were two Olivias, and Peter, who was in love with Olivia 1.0, gets duped by Olivia 2.0, who has done her research and literally infiltrates their lives. And Olivia 1.0 is like, how did you not realize that wasn't me? How did you fall in love with her? And it is some of the most heartbreaking stuff you've ever seen. I would be fascinated to see Sarah somehow get together with the wrong clone who is maybe manipulating her. And
but then no Drama Lands is definitely going to be Drama Lands.
There would be some Drama Lands.
I don't know. I like that idea of having multiple clones and Sarah finds the wrong clone.
I kind of like that, actually. I kind of like the angst potential. Like, I feel like they would get back to their regular relationship eventually, but we'd get some like really angsty stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
How can you fall in love with firefighter Ava? I don't get it.
She's not even a real doctor.
But, oh man, how come you didn't know it wasn't me? You should have known it was me. You guys need to watch Fringe season 3.
Fringe is so good.
Major
oh my god.
spoilers. Sorry,
we don't watch Fringe season 1 or 2. We just start with season 3.
No, you have to start with 2. Skip 1. Just go straight. Oh man, I just totally.
I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna forget it. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not the type of person who minds spoilers. If I get a spoiler, it doesn't ruin the show for me.
Yeah, same.
All right. Ooh, I like my Post-it note idea. All right. Oh, this is a long email. This is from Swara, so I'm gonna breeze through this. Swara, you know I love reading fast emails. So, hi, legendary ladies. Overall, I thought this season was really great. The MVP for me, per usual, was Zari and Behrad. While I understand y'all's frustrations with Zari 2.0, I genuinely loved having this character from the start and how much incredible development she's gotten. I also absolutely loved her relationship with Constantine, and they're the OTP of the season I didn't know I needed. The culmination of Zari 1.0's journey was to see her brother alive again, and knowing she succeeded in saving her family was beautifully cathartic and everything I needed to see. Behrad as a new character, so warm, funny, and a wonderful stoner, is amazing, and I love, love, love so much that Cheyenne Sabayan is now a series regular. We now have 2 Iranian/Mena characters on the Wave Rider, and I am so, so happy. Also, I genuinely loved Astra, and I look forward to more of her adventures with the Legends.
I totally forgot about Astra. We haven't even talked about her.
Oh, Astra. Sorry.
What's Astra's opposite? It's just someone who like sings in a church choir.
Yes, that's absolutely what it is.
Choir director.
That's the gospel truth.
That said, was this season perfect? Definitely not. The plot was all over the place, and the fates seemed to be a late addition to the writing process. The writing off of Ray and Nora was abysmal. I loved Charlie and Maisie, but the way she was written this season was lopsided, and I do not like her leaving. I know it's because Maisie wants to pursue new projects, but I wish her character had better writing overall.
I saw that she's going to be in a new movie.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and I'm like, cool. I was like, wait, is that Maisie?
That's awesome.
It's like the Kissing Booth 2 or something. And I saw her face on the thumbnail. I'm like, wait, is that Maisie? And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, it's her. That's cool.
There you go, Maisie.
I love her stuff.
Me too.
Overall, the CW needs to do a lot better on by their Black actors on these various shows. Canada Patton, I really hope I said this name, Meckled Brooks, AZ.
I think it's Makad. Yeah.
Makad Brooks, and then AZ Tesfaye. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know these actors. And other Black and people of color actors across these shows have been very vocal recently about their workplaces needing to be safe and welcoming for them and their characters. While I love that the Iranian characters this season got great material, the same cannot be said for the Black characters. The industry and the CW overall needs to do a lot better to make safer environments, protect their Black actors from racist fans and even racism on set, and commit to writing good material for their Black actors. I think Legends, while having a few Black actors, has not fully committed to that and must do better, especially now. For the hiatus, I would love to see more guests of color on the podcast, discussing both issues of representation on Legends and what they overall enjoyed about the show. It's not that I don't enjoy listening to you three legendary ladies, but I think it's important to get as many different points of view as possible, especially with a show as diverse as this. Still love listening to y'all on the regular, though. Stay legendary, Swara.
Well, like we said with the representation, we definitely want to bring more people of color on the show. We just let us know who you'd like to have, and we'll reach out, and we'd love to have a conversation.
Especially, or if somebody's listening to this and would love to, hop on and chat with us, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah. And email us thoughts too. I mean, I've kind of mulled around with the idea of I think we could have an episode about this in the same sort of format we had our queer representation episode. However, I don't think the three of us are qualified to lead.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I would rather sit and learn and the three of us are involved in the creative industry and learn what we can do as well. So if you guys have someone who you're interested in hearing from, if you have someone who you think would be interested in moderating said discussion, reach out to us. If you are someone who would like to be involved,
then definitely reach out to us.
Reach out to us because I would like to have that conversation. But again, we're grossly unqualified to have that conversation.
Yeah, and we would love for them to come up with the questions. We would just love to give a platform for them to talk about, Legends or even just people of color in the superhero, in superhero shows or regular TV would be awesome. We would love to learn more. So if you have any recommendations or if you're a person of color and you want questions added, definitely let us know. We'll do that.
And you can always tweet us at legends_podcast, and then you can always email us. That's usually probably going to be the easiest if you want to, do more text. It's the legendspodcast@gmail.com.
And remember, we don't, so we've gotten a couple of these emails. You guys can ask us. We typically read emails because that's part of our format. If you want a conversation and you actually do not want your email read on a podcast, just let us know. Say, hey, this is, your eyes only. Here are thoughts that I have. Don't feel like you're writing us something that's going to be listened to by a large audience. If you have something you want to share with us personally about anything,
yes, absolutely. If you just want to talk to us, we will absolutely respect that. Just make sure that you mark it on there, because we like to read our listener feedback, but that doesn't mean that we're going to read everything. So
and that's why I mentioned for the representation feedback episode, we will be messaging every single person to see exactly how they would like to be, said, like what their name would be, or if they would not want their email on, or if they want their email on. Like, we're going to go individually for everybody. So we can do that. And that's why we're taking our time to do that, because we're really excited to do that feedback episode for sure.
We have one email left, I think. Kat, it's yours.
It is mine. It's short. It's short too. From Michael. I'm a little worried that Legends might have leaned overly hard into genre.
Pistache.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Pastiche, I think.
That's it is. Yeah. I was like,
I can't believe I was the one who knew how to pronounce something for once.
I'm like, I know what this is.
A big moment for me.
Don't know how to pronounce that. In season 5, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it immensely, but also feel like Legends at its best when it finds its own voice and commits to doing it.
Season 2.
Or commits to it. And I agree. Favorite episodes of the season, having not yet listened to your Owls ratings, the Nora Ray episodes of Slay Anything, Mr. Parker, Romeo vs. Juliet, Dawn of Justice. I thought the writers and actors hit some real heights of emotion and comedy in both, truly just firing on all cylinders. Pretty much in agreement with us is for sure. So we're going to do the last minute question corners. Again, if you guys have any of those last minute questions, let us know, and then we'll start wrapping up.
From Pam, if there was a Mortal Kombat style Legends themed game, who would you choose and what would their signature move be? I would want donut firing Zari. Just
that,
like
yeah.
there, the fatalities are never permanent, and there's always a friendship ending move.
I feel like it would be like mine would be like a Stoner Bayrod thing, but I don't know what it would entail.
What would he would just like put smoke. Like rings of smoke into
like pass out.
He just keeps passing you things like you're like, I don't want these gummies, Bayrod.
Nate has a move called Book Smart, and when he opens up the book, you just get blasted away.
That's their smash attack. I see. I only think of things of Super Smash Brothers and more than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros.
Ava, you push a button and Ava's character multiplies across the whole screen for like 3 seconds. So
yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's a really good one.
That's a winning move right there.
That is going to win over Bayrod in his smoke circles.
Once a game.
Only
that's an OP move, but definitely.
That's maybe a little bit too OP. I think if they used her in competitions, like she wouldn't be allowed because Ava's too strong.
And Mick just chucks like he can like super chuck a beer bottle. Like he can literally like hit anyone with the beer bottle from like across the way.
I love that he has a fire gun, but he's just gonna he's
really going with his passion, which is beer.
Ava with the
shakewave. Rachel.
I was going to go with a Sarah Armstrong. Oh yeah, Sarah's guns are the only thing seen in her attack.
She takes off her like leather jacket and it's like this blinding light from her.
or she just like rips off her sleeves.
And you know what it is? Every person freezes and stares in awe. For 3 seconds.
And then you get to fight. Another OP attack for sure.
Yeah.
Also, before we all wrap, you should tell us what hiatus episodes you guys would like to see.
Oh yeah.
Because now we have you live. You tell us what you would like to see.
Mick can use his novels as a weapon.
That's a
words
good one.
are the pen is a weapon for sure.
That's true. It's mightier than the sword, right?
So yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this Quincy Sanders on Facebook. Hello, Quincy. I don't think I've ever seen you on one of our things before. Hello. Says they should make one more season of Arrow about Olivia Queen, his daughter, and other family. That would be so cool. You know, I would be down with an Arrow character joining the team on season 6's quest.
Me too.
But
which Arrow character would you take?
I have not seen season 6 and 7.
I would take Wild Dog.
Yes!
I think we answered that. It's gotta be Sarah's bro, Wild Dog.
Wild Dog is like, I don't know where Sarah is. Have you guys heard from her?
I mean, if you think about it, they already perfectly set it up because Wild Dog and Sarah are just besties.
They're besties, and I think he should be besties with everybody. So yeah, Wild Dog's my answer.
I'm down. But I would be
answer.
I mean, I think Arrow could definitely come back as like a web series or a short film.
Well, they were trying to come up with the Canaries Green Arrow show or whatever. Yeah. I just don't know if it got picked up or not.
I hope that gets picked up. That sounded like it would be cool. Like I would probably maybe watch that a little bit.
Maybe watch that a little bit.
I mean, I don't want to commit to anything.
You seem so invested. Yeah.
I would maybe check out an episode. Who knows?
I watched the pilot.
So we missed this question corner. This is from Katrina. She said, one of my questions for your live session. There are so many theories floating around about Ava's clone backstory and whether or not the writers will finally delve into it. I came across everything from her clone DNA being connected to Gold Star, aka Michelle Carter, Michael Carter / Booster Gold's sister, and Rip Hunter's daughter, to Ava's ideal woman DNA being primarily sourced from the Amazon of Wonder Woman's universe.
See, I feel like once we get there, it's too much info for Legends. When they do an info, like as much as I would love to see all that, I think when they info dump, they don't do a great job at it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with that.
But I would be interested to see the primal source of the Avas.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cool episode. Hopefully, maybe something to do with space. You never know. Maybe we'll get some alien stuff.
Yeah, if we could come up with a more fleshed out backstory for Ava, what would it be?
Ooh, and I think, more fleshed out?
I would want to play with my wrong clone idea.
I don't know. I just feel like the Avas in the different boxes were enough for me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I don't feel like I have a lot of like clone based questions. Like she's a clone. I didn't have more. It wasn't like Orphan Black. Like where'd she come from?
I'm like,
know.
cool.
On Star Trek Voyager, there is a hologram, which is a character who basically he's like a computer generated character. He's a doctor with really terrible bedside manner. He's really abrupt. He's a great doctor, but other than that, he's literally a jerk of a character. And over the series, he becomes he creates his own personality. And he discovers that while he's been on this ship halfway across the galaxy, coming into his own and discovering passions and falling in love and learning to be a better person, that there are hundreds of others of his holograms literally subjected to a menial existence because they were so like horrible and awful. So how interesting would it be for Ava, who's explored herself, finds a world of Avas who have all just been rejected? Very iRobot-ish.
Ooh.
I mean, I'd be down.
Yeah,
sure.
me too.
All right.
We got a couple of suggestions. Yeah, we got a couple of suggestions for the hiatus. So Tala says podcast episode. Morgan watches all of.
Yes,
I am watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. I do know that everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I'm like halfway through season 1 now, so you're gonna have to give me some time. I'm working my way. I'm working my way through.
Talk some Korra, man. That's all I want to do.
There is an episode called The Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend not watching The Tales of Ba Sing Se without 6 boxes of tissues and a solid emotional support system.
Yeah.
Oh no! Is this isn't in season 1 though, right?
I think it's season 2.
Okay.
I got everything good is in season 3.
Yeah.
Season
really?
1's just like season 1's really just here's what this is about.
Season 1 is like this thus far is like a little bit aimed like towards children more than I'm used to in my entertainment. So I'm just like I'm working my way through.
Yeah. Season 3 is when it gets definitely more adult, but I would say Korra for me personally was a much more mature show than Avatar because they're older. Yeah, they're older characters, so it starts from the beginning. Like no one feels like it doesn't feel aimed to children because it's not. But Avatar was.
Did we just get like 3 recommendations for Legends fan fiction episode?
Did we? So. Let me see. I see 1. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see so. 2. And I see 3. I think what would be fun is for us to write some fan fiction and then bring it to the table and see what we come up with.
Why don't because for you guys on Supergirl Radio, you guys gave a prompt and the fan responded.
Yeah.
What if we asked for prompts from our fans
and then we responded
and we only had 500 words or 2 pages to
I love that.
Yeah. Yes. No, I would do that. That sounds insane.
Each of us could take like 2
I don't know if I trust
prompts.
these people for their prompts.
I trust you guys.
If you have a fan fiction prompt, email it to us. If you have a specific person you want to write it, let us know. Or if you want all 3 of us to respond, let us know. Maybe
we can't promise all of them. We can't. We'll promise 3.
Yeah,
we'll promise 3 of them, and I'm doing mine in a script format. It will not be.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
I'm not going to do a short story format. I'll probably do a script.
I like it.
We can read it out like it's we can act it and stuff.
We could.
That'd be fun. So maybe we'll all do script format. That'd be kind of cool.
I don't.
You want to do regular story?
I did like the 1 screenplay, but I don't know that that's my medium. I'm not good at it, so
see, I'm the reverse. I don't really love writing in prose as much. I definitely that is the word.
I will say, if you specifically request it, I will write you a fanfic. I will answer your fanfic prompt in iambic pentameter.
Ooh,
I'll
throwing down.
It has to be a good prompt, but I will answer your prompt in a sonnet.
I promise you I won't. And don't aim that at me. Yeah. I will not either.
I'm sorry. I cannot do that for you. I love you, but I'm not going to do that for you.
I will also mention Morgan's podcast again. There are 2 stories out there in the wild that are already fan fictions from me. So in that podcast about Lena Luthor and Supergirl and Mick and Batman. So don't add
That's
those
true.
characters.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so-
Yeah,
When you listen
no,
to the second episode of DC TV After Dark, there's like Cat's dropping some real knowledge on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, full disclosure, if you ask us to like include characters from other shows, we will automatically decline your prompt.
Yeah, let's try to keep it with the
Legends only.
legends.
Yeah.
But it could be like
Go
a
for it.
wild prompt. Like it could be
Yeah.
like, all right, they all become serial killers.
I would almost prefer it to be a weird prompt. I think that would be more fun.
We'll
Yeah,
make
I
it
don't want
happen.
it to be like a regular episode. I want
No,
it to be like crazy flip it on its head type story.
Character turns into a magic horse.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
That's it, I think. Was
think
there
we're
any other
done.
question corners in the
Someone, Katie Wong says she wants us to do a hiatus episode idea, sort the legends into Hogwarts houses and Avatar bending nations, divergent
Ooh.
factions. I'm down. I would love to do that, but we would have to like clearly define parameters.
Yeah.
So that requires a lot of research. Like, what is a firebending house versus Slytherins? Versus...
I'm gonna say I might be sick for that podcast. It just I don't know if I'll be on.
That's like, this sounds like a lot of homework, and I'm out. Can you find that on history.com?
I don't know if you can. And
All right.
Ugh.
Is there anything else that if we want to share? Do we miss any question corners? I think.
I think that's it.
No, I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait. This is a great finale question. We missed this one from Haley. If you could victory party at any time, like Legends with Charlie's bands, when and where would you go? She said hers would be Frank Sinatra with the Rat Pack on the Sands.
Ooh.
Ooh, victory.
I mean, if you're
party.
going into Frank, like they got into some business with, people that, you might not want to get into business with.
Yeah,
so I don't know if I would
seriously.
want to hang out with Frank and the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
And they did Marilyn Monroe dirty. So
They sure did.
yeah.
So
Norma
it doesn't have to
Jean.
be it doesn't have to be a band. It's just like if you could victory party in any
If
time,
you-
anywhere, what would you do? My
I can
answer.
tell you.
I would
I-
want a victory party as Fleetwood Mac made their Rumors album to be
Yes.
a fly on the wall for all the drama.
Oh my god, that's such a good answer.
One of the best, like one of my favorite memories of all time was going to a Comic-Con party and just having an amazing time. I think you two were there. Like
I might have been.
the Comic-Con party feel of an open bar and people who are just nerding out.
I think we
at
were
the end of
there.
the day.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Random one?
I'm thinking the BuzzFeed one.
Maybe it
you
was
we
Buzz.
actually got in.
Might have been.
I just remember the one we
We
went
had more than
to.
one.
I don't remember. Yeah,
Do you-
we've been to a lot, and
Let's
they've been
do-
fun.
Kat, let's go back to the
Piano
dueling
bar?
pianos bar.
Oh,
That's
that'd be
what it
fun.
is.
Oh,
That's
you
it.
guys have
Dueling
a dueling
pianos bar at
piano
Comic-Con.
bar?
We did,
Yeah.
and this
Jealous.
woman went crazy when Stacy's mom came on, and she went on stage, and she's like, "Stacy's mom has
Like,
got it," and then they're like, "All right, we're done," and she's like, "No, I'm still Stacy's mom," and they like kicked her out.
Wow.
They kicked out
That's it.
Stacy's mom.
Not
And then, like,
Stacy's mom.
Stacy's
That's
mom
our
was
victory
out.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. No, I want to go back in time and go to that party with you
Yes.
guys and not have gotten my wisdom teeth out. So
Yeah.
Either that, or we're all just at some very polite party at
Oh, yeah.
Downton Abbey, and we're all just clinking our teas. Congratulations, congratulations.
Pinky up.
yeah. Oh, exactly.
Pinky up.
Mr. Carson.
Yes. what was Constantine's name?
Oh, I can't
Did they call him
remember.
Mr. Constantine?
He was clearly
I
supposed to be
remember.
Mr. Carson.
Yeah. Mr. Pennyworth or whatever her
Yeah.
name was. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for everybody who sent us emails. Thank you for participating in our live tweets. Now we just committed ourselves live to this fan fiction thing. So send us your prompts. Let's have some fun with this. And keep in touch. We're going to keep in touch with y'all. There should be some fun stuff coming up at the end of the month. We have a lot of really cool things planned. There's some Avalance stuff thrown in there.
We do.
We're going to turn this over to our last legendary listener spotlight, which is not going to air live, but will air at the end of this episode. And it was with someone who actually is listening live right now. new Rachel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're literally going to time travel to when we recorded this a few days ago. Ooh.